So thank you. I think most people who are now back in the room. So I'm now going to ask the jury to speak to each of the set of defendants in turn. I don't know if you have one person to speak or three different speakers. But first of all, could someone tell me how you find the charges against the employers?
Hi there, it's Helen McFarlane here, and yes, we want to explain our verdict. So absolutely, first and foremost, we find the government guilty on all charges. We believe that the government sets the scene for the remaining charges. So deregulation, privatisation, slow reaction to lockdown, herd immunity. Regarding our Black and ethnic minority brothers and sisters, the government has failed to acknowledge the root cause is not in genetics, but in structural, institutional racism in the workplace, and the dangerous cocktail of race and class came to the fore. But the government further had a willful downgrading of the serious nature of this pandemic. Can I move on to the employers? We also found the employers guilty on all charges. We believe that it was willful. For example, we were struck by the evidence of there was never an accidentally going over the top with PPE within any risk assessment, not utilising RIDDOR, exploitation of women workers, BME workers, failed by the employers to improve on the guidance. So even if they were hiding behind the government saying it was just guidance, our employers have failed to improve on that guidance and have ignored trade union reps to put in place better arrangements. And there has been victimisation of workers, sacking of reps and workers for raising safety issues, and particular horror to hear of bus driver Mo Munir and his sacking. The HSE, we also find guilty on all charges, not the workers, but the leadership. Our reps rely on the advice and backup from HSE, and we recognise that so do good employers who are trying to do the right thing, but the lack of intervention, not intervening on even the RIDDOR allegations, not setting standards that could be measured, signing off on undermining health and safety guidance led by big business, especially the Construction Leadership Council, allowing themselves to hide behind public health, and where there have been fines of over 40,000 individuals, only 78 notices to improve and no prosecutions. We agree with some of the witnesses who said that they blamed the employers, but we blame all three for deaths because profit has put before people's lives. Our judgment is we have witnesses social murder, social injury, social illness, both physical and mental. We further find exonerated the brave workplace reps, and we demand their reinstatement. And we also exonerate all those who protest and call out the guilt of all parties. And in particular, we exonerate Karen Reisman for the brave move that she has taken.
Is that the end of your statement, Helen?
Say again?
Is that the end of your statement?
That's the end of the statement, yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay. A workers' court, what a wonderful, wonderful initiative. And I want to say thank you to all the witnesses who've taken part and given evidence tonight, and also to the members of the jury, to Helen for recounting your verdicts and your careful deliberation. And the verdicts are now in. The jury's unanimously found employers, enforcement authorities and the UK governments guilty of all the charges laid against them. And I want to say, and I hope we can collectively say, that their collective criminal negligence will not be forgotten. You are the living record. Yours is one of the many collective records of the lives of over 130,000 people callously ended, needlessly ended, up to this point in this pandemic. Not to mention millions more who have been emotionally, physically, and financially scarred, in many cases for the rest of their lives. As bearers of this record, those for whom you've spoken and about whom you've spoken, you, collectively, us, we're not going away. None of you are going away. So if I may, on behalf of this workers' court, close by saying, we demand a public inquiry. We demand legal proceedings against corporate bodies and senior individuals within them. We demand truth, justice, and accountability. We shall remember the dead, but we will also fight for the living. Thank you very much, comrades. I'd like to conclude by handing over to the organizer of tonight's event, Janet Newsham, should she have any closing remarks. Thank you very much. It's been a privilege.
I just say thank you very much. You know, we've had some really horrifying witnesses speaking today on the the trauma that they're going through, ordinary workers are going through, and I think it was absolutely necessary that we had this this place where people could express what's happening out there in the workplaces. And really thank everybody for the contributions, especially all the witnesses that spoke, and the jury, and you, Steve, finally, for the work that you've done to bring this together. I hope that this is a record that we will hold employers, will hold enforcers, and will hold the government to account. And from now, that we do what we can to fight back, to make sure that people are protected, and it's a precautionary approach taken to their health and their safety in workplaces. But I'm sure it's going to be with a fight. So thank you very much for everybody.